Right, ja. We knew this would be the toughest of tests we'll come against in the league based on the absolute fucking heaps and heaps of dollar bills Leicester are sitting on. But all things considered, there are some positives to pick out from this. Yes, fair enough, it's another poor result. If you just look at the scoreline, we've gone from a 4-0 to a 3-0, so then we'll go to a 2-0 and then a 1-0. We'll just keep going down until we improve. No, I'm joking. But yeah, we knew this would be a tough test. Leicester is quite easily the richest team in the league, and it's a team with the most quality in the league based on the players they have. Their bench alone, one player on their bench alone is probably worth more than our whole squad combined. That's the levels we're trying to compete with this year. Leicester should be running away with the league. However, their fans find it appropriate to list every game as a big game and a derby of sort because they have no rival. They're quite sad, really, and yeah. But anyways, welcome back to Matchday Report. Preston North End took on Leicester City, recently relegated from the Premier League, at the King Power Stadium, and let me tell you what a journey that was, because we only got back to Deepdale at 3 AM yesterday because of the roadworks on the M1 and traffic trying to get out of Leicester. It was an absolute shambles of a journey home, and it somehow became a 9-hour round trip. But applause to the rest of the 2,500 fans that made the journey, because it was some fucking trek, let me tell you. But anyways, let's just crack on, shall we? So, like I said, we lost 3-0. The stats have been dropped, and we had 6 shots with only 1 on target. They had 9 shots, 4 on target. Of course, we expected them to have most possession. I would never have expected us to outpossess Leicester, 77% to 23. What really baffles me, well, not baffles me, but what amazes me is how they string together almost 800 passes and we string together 233 with a passing accuracy of 90% on their end. We only had a passing accuracy of 69. We normally average around 65 to 75, so to have 90% accuracy is very good. We played a couple of balls here and there where they just didn't go anywhere and they just fell to the opposition, whereas with Leicester, almost every pass they made went exactly how they wanted it to. They played a very dangerous game of playing it wide to the other end of the field with, I can't remember his name, with one player just camping it out, ready to sprint to grab the ball, and it was genius because that's literally our own game plan, but executed to a much better fashion. It was quite good on their end, to be fair. We both had 4 corners, which is quite amazing. Surprisingly, we had 2 yellows. They had none, and we committed our usual higher amount of fouls. But it is what it is. We did get one in the back of the net at the end of the game, courtesy of Ben Woodburn of all people, but it was disallowed for a foul in the build-up, which, considering there was an even worse version of the exact same foul not given during the Millwall and Plymouth game the other night, it just shows the standard of refereeing in this country. Speaking of refereeing in this country, you should have seen the fucking dive Patrick Bamford made in that Leeds and QPR game last night. That was absolutely horrendous. I mean, they concede a free kick because of it. They don't score from it, fair enough, but still, the standard of officiating in this league is bonkers. Even in the goal where Leeds scored, the fucking ball goes out of play by yards and yards, and they let play go on. It's ridiculous. The referee in this game wasn't awful. They got a few things wrong, to be fair, but they also didn't get a massive amount wrong. They didn't get too much criminal wrong. But considering it was supposed to be Darren England refereeing this match, the same motherfucker behind the Liverpool Spurs controversy from the last weekend, yeah, I think I'll take what we got. But in terms of how the table's now looking, we are sitting in 3rd with 20 points, and Leicester are sitting in 1st with 27 points. The gap between 3rd and 1st has absolutely fallen. The moment we drew that game was the moment we absolutely fucked up 1st place. Don't get me wrong, Leicester could, for all we know, Leicester could have an incident where the Taliban turn up and shoot their players, and then they have no players. However, I don't think that'd be very fair. And then that's the only way we're going to make a charge back to 1st if they have no players. But like I said, it's not going to happen, is it? Ipswich is another formidable side that we played at the weekend. They've got 25 points. The gap between us and Ipswich is 5 points. And the gap between us and Leicester is 7. The gap between Ipswich and Leicester is only 2. Those 2 teams are going to run away with the league this season. Everyone else is going to be competing and fighting for the playoffs like last season with Burnley and Sheffield United. But as you can see, we are now only 1 point clear of Sunderland, but we are still 4 points clear of everyone else underneath. It's still the top 6. It's not as good as it was, and we have now we have a goal difference of 0 back to where we left off last year. But we're still 3rd. We're still top 6. There's no need to smash that big red panic button just yet, but it's not as positive as it was, obviously. But Speaking of positives, there are some positives to pick out from the game, so let's read, shall we? Right, Woodman a 6. Not much he could do about the goals. Denied, how the hell do you say that name? Iheanacho or something like that. Well prior to Dewsbury Hall scoring on the rebound, which was unfortunate. One more 6, competed well in the first half, got dragged out for the second goal, but did more right than wrong. I don't know, it says a 5 there. Lindsay a 6. Solid first half shift and put in a great block to deny Dewsbury Hall. Will be frustrated with the goals conceded in the second. Leicester's movement and play is just too sharp, and it shows the level we're trying to compete with. Cunningham a 6, considering it was his first start of the season, which I do believe Cunningham should be getting more moves off the bench. The Irishman did himself no harm. Aggressive but assured in the bulk of his defending, but Dewsbury Hall was too quick for the opener. I think they're all too quick. They outpaced us by like 20 apiece. It's quite ridiculous. Bots a 6, carried a threat down the right at times and sent some dangerous crosses into the box while combining effectively with Liam Miller. Speaking of Liam Miller, a 7 was a bright spark for 55 minutes or so. The game swung Leicester's way after the opener, but he had dribbled positively, it worked hard. Whiteman a 7, skipper for the night, on a solid on his first start of the league campaign. Looked after and moved the ball nicely, did not look out of his depth, got back in to defend and looked to get P&E forward where possible, and this is why Whiteman should be starting games. Well, he should now anyway, that he's fit. McCann 7, the heartbeat of Preston's performance up until the first goal. Won the ball back in good areas, got Leicester's faces, and created the first half chance for Holmes. Unfortunate to see his tackle drop for Dewsbury Hall to score. I do believe that Holmes should be taking that effort better, because during the warm-up when I was watching Holmes, he was scoring every single one of those efforts that were identical to what he tried to score, so a bit unfortunate. Brady is 6, get him off. Played his part in P&E's resilient first half display, tried to push on down to the left to support the attacks, and it was very fatigued in the second half. I really do not see why Brady starts games. He was resilient, sure, but that's all he was. There was nothing of quality coming from Brady all game. Holmes a 6, live wire in the middle, sometimes took too long on the ball, but did carry a threat for Preston. Sent a great first half opportunity wide before the break, and that's my problem with Holmes that game. He can be that live wire, he's got that pace, but he just didn't look like he had the confidence to make the run. And then Big Millie a 6, selfless in his work at the top end of the pitch, picked up the ball in some dangerous positions high up, just couldn't keep hold of it because as soon as Millie had the ball, he got absolutely bombarded by the defence. Subs Keane a 6, put himself up there after replacing Osmajic and linked some of P&E's play together, but the game drifted away. I really don't understand why we don't have 2 players playing up front when we are 1-2-0 down. Just get 2 up front, try and score a goal. Mwenni a 6, closed down the defenders, put himself about. Good to see him get some time on the pitch. Kean Best a 5, couldn't be utilised down the left after replacing Brady. A little off the pace against a top opponent, but it's good for him to get minutes against a top opponent like this. I'd still rather see him play over Brady. Woodburn a 5 because at least he got pace. Woodburn a 5 had the ball in the net for Preston, but so it ruled out for a shirt pull. Picked up a booking for a strong tackle on Pereira, whatever that name is. But yeah, that's what Woodburn does best. He picks up a card not long after being on the pitch. Leighton Stewart at 5, introduced in the golden stages, and also picked up a booking. Look at the ex-Liverpool men doing their job well of picking up bookings. Whoopie-doo. Okay, so if you're already not aware, we was missing 4 players from the starting lineup that we've been playing consistently, and that being Brown, Letton, Hughes and Story. And if you're wondering where the hell they were, apparently Brown and Story fell ill. Ledson was dropped to the bench and was not played, as far as I'm aware. Well, I believe he was anyway, if I can get that up. And was he on the bench? Yeah, he was on the bench, but just wasn't brought on for whatever reason. I think it's baffling. But yeah, and then Hughes has apparently got a tight cough. So, of all the games to have absences, why this one? Because a game like this is where we need Brown, because of the way that Brown's been moving this season. It would have been good for him to be on the pitch. Right, Ryan Law's reaction, shall we? Routine. So Ryan Law says, it was definitely harsh. I thought we were fantastic for 55 minutes until they scored their first goal, which was disappointing on our behalf. We go to ground when we could have been probably intercepted it. But listen, they've got some quality. I thought we nullified them early on and our shape caught them out a little bit. In the second half they tweaked it a bit, and just before they scored the second we were then going with the 2 strikers. So again, a tactical game, but they've got quality all over the park, and when the game gets opened up the pitch gets bigger and they've got quality in abundance. That is what hurts us. So the scoreline is probably not a true reflection, even though we didn't have much possession. We knew we weren't going to. Most teams won't when they come here, but I can't fault the effort or commitment of the boys. It was fantastic. Later on there, we were out on our feet a little bit, which is expected, but I thought they were fantastic without getting a result. Happy at half time. Same. I was more than happy, to be honest. We had the best chance in the first half. Holmes had a good opportunity and given the keeper the eyes, but it's just gone past the post. We got into some good positions, Potsy definitely. But again, they are a Premier League team in the Championship, aren't they? Well, let's have it right. They defend areas in the box very good, and we couldn't pick anything out. They get a moment of quality, but you've got to play it in Dewsbury Hall, who shouldn't be playing at this level. I was very pleased at half time, but we knew it wasn't going to. We knew it was going to get harder. On the tactical setup tonight, being a 4-4-1-1 and then a 4-5-1. It was, yeah, it's a lot. I think the result up to 55 minutes explains that, because you cannot come to Leicester and open it up. I was watching them live on Sunday and their movement was different class. We didn't want them to go through the pitch and you keep Vardy happy for 55 minutes and Iheanacho comes on. So again, you've got to respect what they've got and what we've got. We were always coming here with a different tactical plan, because you can't come here and play Leicester off the park, because they will punish you. And they did anyway. On having his triple sub of Bess, Woodburn and Maweny ready at 1-0. We were going to a 3-5-2 and getting a bit of energy into the middle of the park with young Noah on the right. He's a good runner, and Woody, who has been great in training, I must say. I assume he's talking about Woodburn. We felt that they could run up the pitch. Dueno was getting a bit tired, Robbie was getting a bit of cramp, and Ali was getting tired, but also on a booking. We have to make sure that we do the right things and get fresh legs on. Lo and behold, it goes 2-0 and off fighting a lost cause. On whether Mads an unused sub was ever in his thinking. No, okay, this is interesting. They are all in my thinking as such, but coming off the bench, Noah's got pure energy and is getting the quality we want. All week in training, he's been getting on the end of things, running with the ball and scoring. We just felt a little bit more energy, and sometimes Noah doesn't have to think. He's a young lad coming on the pitch, especially with surroundings and the club he's up against. I thought he did well when he came on, and it was a bit of freshness. Okay, interesting. So Mads wasn't even considered to be brought on. And that's very interesting, considering Mads was consistently starting at the start of the season and did well in pre-season. Something must be going on within the training ground then. Whether it's spite, I don't know, because Brady... I don't understand how Brady performs to a level that earns him a start in training when he can't even fucking play properly on the pitch. What's Mads got to be doing wrong? I think Mads is going to be like McCann this season. He's going to be one of those players that has that quality, but won't be played. I hope to be proven wrong. I hope he is just having a bit of a blip, but if that's the case, that is a massive shame, because Mads was looking to be a fan favourite very early on. On Brown's story and Hughes being absent from the squad. Yeah, well, Brownie was up all night on Monday with a bug and everything that goes with it, with the kids and the family. They're okay now, but there's no way he could have come with us having got back at the end of the bug. The doctor's been round Brownie and Jordan's. They just couldn't travel with us. Fair enough. We have to leave them at home, so they pulled a sickie because they knew they were up against top shape. Fair enough. Hughesy's had a tight cough, so we've had to leave him behind, get a scan, and we are waiting on the result of that. We've got a plan to get Brown and Story with us tomorrow because we are staying over tonight. Yeah, they're not returning back to Lancashire until they've played Ipswich. We're travelling to Ipswich tomorrow. The plan is to get them with us at some point, and we'll monitor them over the next 24 hours and see how they are. Okay, to be honest, I when I first read that Brown and Story were poorly, I was like, well, okay. I was thinking, okay, so Brown's phoned the sickie, Hughes has got a tight cough, and Story's been slapped so hard by Lowe that he can't play because of all the dick-ups that he made against fucking West Brom. Okay, interesting. But it is what it is, I suppose. But hopefully we have him back for Ipswich, because these two players at the back especially make all the difference, and Brown in the middle is needed. We need Brown, Whiteman, McCann, and Holmes in the middle, with Potts and Miller either side of him. I think that would be the best way to go forward in making a good attacking setup, but that's just my opinion. What the fuck do I know? Yeah, but it is what it is. Leicester City, not many teams can say that they get to visit a Premier League stadium without being in the Premier League. It was an interesting trip to say the least. The stadium it looks massive on the outside, but it's a bit smaller on the inside than I would have imagined. The tunnels are quite cool. Very expensive in there, but it is what it is. Nice stadium by all things considered, and considering it was basically sold out with, like, I think the capacity is 34,000 and there was about 30,000, 32,000 Leicester fans there or something like that. There's a lot. Considering it was basically sold out, they were fucking radio silent all game. I didn't hear a single chant from Leicester, apart from when they first scored and they cheered. That sound of that 30,000 people cheering like that in a stadium like that is deafening. It is loud, let me tell you. It was quite surreal, to be fair. Yeah, and obviously when the second goes in and the third goes in, that's when they start piping up a little bit. There was always this, like, one little corner in the back, though, with these, like, 5 lads jumping up. That must be the, like, top left of the town end. But yeah, no. After, like, going 2-3-0 down, I find it quite funny how they start chanting to us, champions of England. You'll never be that, when you're literally talking to the original double winners, the original Invincibles, the original Kings of England during the original Football League. Okay, just because we haven't won the Premier League doesn't mean we're not champions of England. You've won it once, and then you fucked it up. You're not Man United, are you? You've not won it like 20 times, so pipe down. But yeah, either way, educational experience for the lads, I suppose, but we were never going to go there and win. But hopefully we can go to Ipswich at the weekend and win, because they've just come up. They have quality, and they've been showing they've got quality, but I don't know. It's just going to be a tough month. We're not going to pick up many points this month, in all honesty. We're playing top teams. Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton, Millwall, Hull. All teams that are trailing our asses or above us. So, yeah. This is going to be a very tricky month for us, but it is what it is. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed the journey yesterday if you travelled. And if not, then I wish I was you sat at home in the armchair. But, yeah, thanks again. And we'll see you at the weekend when we're all depressed after Ipswich.